Three-pointer.
How's it going, you spicy young individuals? Welcome to a new episode of Inside IU Esports. I'm your host, Travis Lang, and today I'm welcoming our first ever official esports coach. This is Jason Clark with me today. Jason, this is the first time we've ever met, but I've actually seen you in the Twitter sphere.
The Twitter sphere, for sure.
So I just really wanted to ask, how involved are you on social media? Because I've seen a couple posts, but are you fluent in it?
I'm pretty fluent in it. I kind of lean towards like the Twitter, Twitch sphere of it. Instagram, I just mainly just post like dog pictures and cat pictures. But as far as social media goes, yeah, I lean towards that and like Discord, that sort of stuff.
Well, I guess it could always be worse.
Yeah,
so,
definitely could be worse.
So with that, obviously, you're the new esports coach. You have experience online with video games, and we'll get to that in a second. But you are actually from the area. You're actually returning back to the Richmond area. So just tell me a little bit about your story. Where have you been? What have you done? And what brought you back here?
For sure. So I actually graduated from here in 2014. And then I went on, I left here and went and got my master's and taught in the area at Richmond High School, Richmond Community Schools for a couple years. And then met my fiance and we decided to follow her job. So in the last, 4 years since we've been rolling around through Kansas, Iowa, Missouri, even came back here for a bit. And when I came back here is where I started Richmond High School Esports, which really got me into esports. Before I was more of a fan. It was interesting. I liked it. But then that got me into like the actual administrative part, the director part, and I had a lot of fun with it. And then we had to move again, unfortunately. And so once we moved again, that's when we got to Missouri, and I got involved with some private orgs and some high school and a middle school there, started multiple schools, programs, and worked with the Missouri state level on esports. And then this position opened up, and it just brought me back home to where I, being a Rebel of Nation, and fortunately, I got the position, and here I am.
So what inspired you to actually start an esports program at Richmond High School? Because it's a lot of different moving parts, especially when you consider in the technology cost, actually getting a place to set up everything.
Right.
What got you involved with that program?
So first off and foremost, it was the money. We were able to get a grant that was able to pay for pretty much everything, about $30K plus. But the biggest thing, the biggest driving part of it was the students wanted it, the kids wanted it, and it was because it's a thing that's in their world. It's a lot of like older folks don't see it, but like growing up with gaming, like that's what they are. They would go home and that's what they do. And I remember once we got kind of rolling that it was about the third or fourth week after we kind of went public, hey, we're gonna have a program, it's gonna start soon. And then, they were all worked about doing call outs and wanting to get in there and actually get their hands on the mice and keyboard. And a group came up and said, hey, what are we gonna name the team? And I said, well, what are you guys talking about? They said, well, if we're going to be a team, we need a team name. And I was like, you goofs, like, we're the Richmond Red Devils. Like, we have a name. And it was just because, like, they weren't connected on a level like that, right? So I was like, what are you guys? And so once they got in, like, it clicked in their head, like, oh, wow, I'm actually a part of this school now. And then we got, like, the jerseys, the gear, and it drives up their attendance got better, their grades got better, everything got better. So you start to see the value of, like, meeting students where they're at, and that's what really pushed my interest besides just being a millennial gamer. But the other thing there was, the other fortunate part was I had a student teacher when I did it, because starting a program is a lot of time. And so I was there every night from once school ended till 10 o'clock at night, but I was also there during the day because I was letting the student teacher do her thing. And so those are the reasons we were able to start it, and what kind of inspired me, like, I really like doing this. And it meets students better where they're at than like teaching about like the Russian Revolution or something. So that's why I kept pushing with it.
And going back to your point you made, you talked about how the students didn't feel connected with the overall school, with the overall name. A lot of times there's really a disparity between esports and regular sports.
Right.
So in your opinion, what separates the two from each other?
It's just, I don't know, like how people view it, I guess. Because there is an argument is, are they athletes? Are they that? But if you look at it, it's competition. That's what they're wanting to do, right? They're not wanting to go home and just sit and play a game by themselves. They're wanting to get together. They're wanting to compete. And so I think there is just that it's such in its infancy that it's not fully accepted on the idea yet. So that's probably the biggest separation, is just understanding. But they get in there, they compete, they get mad when they lose. They try to figure out ways they can get better. We work together. So it's pretty fun just watching them learn how to be a student athlete, and that's a big part of it.
And hopefully no broken keyboards, right?
No, we're not trying to pay for this. But
That's good. Yeah. And you mentioned you were a millennial gamer. So what do you actually play? Like, in your opinion, what's your expertise in video games?
Mine, so it'd be first-person shooters, and like my casual fun time is Battle Royale, but my competitive side comes out when it's like Overwatch, stuff like that. Team-based first-person shooters, Call of Duty. That's what I like, and that's where it's fast-paced, it's communication. And it's also where I'm learning a lot now is like the MOBAs, like League of Legends, where it's a little slower pace, but it has those sparks of like, let's go. And so yeah, I lean towards the first-person shooters, but that's where I'd say my expertise lies.
Unfortunately, there's no Call of Duty here for the IU East Esports team, but we do have stuff like Overwatch and Rocket League and things like that. So from what you've seen so far from the program at IU East, what are your first impressions getting involved with this program?
So it's actually pretty impressive because most schools are at a point now where they've been around a couple years and they have students that they've recruited and brought in, right? And it's a testament to the students that were here that they were able to become pretty much a club that's playing at a team level, that they were here and they just wanted to be a part of it. And they're setting that foundation for the students that we're going to recruit. And it's awesome because the students we recruit will already have a base of students they can come in and bond with. They'll already have friends as they come in, and then they'll be able to take this because it's so young and run with it and grow with it. And so it was pretty impressive seeing just the kids that were here are actually pretty decent. So that's pretty cool.
And how does somebody actually recruit for the esports team? Obviously, we've had a couple other people in the program help to grow it, and actually really started out more of a club than anything else. But how do you actually go about and draw people in to the new team?
I just go in the middle of towns and scream nerds and wait for them to come running. No, so some schools have programs. So it'd be like any other, like our athletic programs, the coaches contact their coach, see who they have, go talk to them, the traditional ways. A lot of schools don't have programs, but they definitely have gamers, right? So it's about how do you outreach to them. And so whether it's just contacting whoever you can contact at school to get in there, because once you say, hey, college esports, especially in this region, you say IU East College Esports, everyone knows the cost, everyone knows the accessibility of it. You can typically get some people coming your way. Another way we're recruiting is looking at the creative side of esports. That's what makes esports a bit unique, is that if you do any other sport, you go do that sport and then you can potentially coach it. Whereas esports, like just the traditions of it so far is set that there's content creators, there's streaming, there's everything. And so that's another thing we're recruiting is like radio TV programs, graphic design programs, that kind of stuff, to bring those students in, to get them actually in on the team, and their whole purpose is to design or create content or video production, that sort of thing.
Apart from the overall recruiting process, what are you looking for in a competitive gamer? What are some qualities that you actually want on a team like this?
Someone that's open to teamwork and open to growth, right? Because a lot of times what you'll have is students that they're just so used to being on their own, right? Or solo queuing, as we say, is we're looking for the students that are willing to work with the team and grow with the team, accept their faults, be able to become a leader within that team. So I want everyone striving to be a leader on their team. And just that's pretty much it, just teamwork. Learn to be coachable, be able to grow.
So. And with having a great team, you obviously need a great coach. How would you describe your coaching style? Because that's usually a big thing with athletes or students that are trying to join a team. Obviously, they want to know, how's the coach going to be? So how would you describe yourself?
I'm definitely athlete focused. Like, I'm not an authoritarian, none of that. Like, and esports is also unique on the way that essentially right now I'm coaching 5 different sports. So it'd be like if I was coaching basketball, tennis, football, and all that at the same time. Because League of Legends I'm not that great at, right? Like, not effective enough to coach it, but we have it. And so that's where we look at, we want to develop student leaders, and we want to get them in positions where they can learn and get them opportunities where they can become better. So by the time they're a junior or senior, they're leading that team. I'm just there for the structure, right? Like, we're looking at the structure of goal-oriented, like useful practices, purposeful practices, but potentially that student leader is the one that's setting that schedule and that goal. And so that's all I want to do. I want to foster like a growth mindset and foster students becoming leaders, because I can't coach all of them. And I think that's an awesome opportunity, that knowing that you'll come in and potentially by the time you leave, you weren't just a team captain, but you were a team captain coach, right? Which is kind of unique.
Since you're looking for growth in not only your students, but also the program, what are some goals that you have for the future of IU East Esports?
Right. So one of them is, I think we'll always be competitive in NACE at the level we're at. One of the bad things, well, it's good and bad, is one, like, we went against like Arizona State last week, right? And we also went against like University of Minnesota Twin Cities. So like the area and the size that we go against is pretty vastly different, right? And so I think we'll always be competitive in NACE, but I think what we're pushing for is to develop, we're working with the teams in the River States Conference, and we want to become like the River States Conference juggernaut, right? We want to be that, if you think esports, you think River States, it's IU East. And so that's what we're going for, because that's where we can be competitive. Schools our size, schools that are recruiting similar students to ours. And so then it just becomes down, we worked harder, and you can see that. And then the other side of it is that creative side. Like, I want students that come in that they're a graphic designer or they're a streamer or something like that, that are on a student athlete on the team. And by the time they graduate, they have a full portfolio. They have everything to go off to do anything they want within esports or anything design or video production, that sort of thing.
So where can you actually catch these streams? I'm not sure how long esports seasons last, but where can you actually go and watch these events?
So right now you can go to twitch.com/ I think it's IU East Esports. And what is it, Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays, there's a match going on of some sort, whether it's Rocket League, League of Legends, that sort of thing. And right now it's pretty basic. It's me running it, and as we can all tell, I definitely have a face for not this. So it's a lot of just letting the stream roll and letting people enjoy it. And we do pretty good. And we've had some parents come in that are excited, like, oh, I can actually watch my kid do something that they never thought they would be able to do. And they have the opportunity to watch it, because it's not like basketball, you can't just go sit in the stands, right? So there's a way to watch it, and you jump on the stream. And it's pretty cool.
So with that in mind, talking about parents and kids and just getting involved with the program, there might be somebody watching this right now who is considering joining an esports team, whether it be IU East or any other sort of college affiliate. Do you have any advice for a student like that who maybe wants to join, but they don't know if they're ready? How can they prepare themselves for joining a program like that?
You just got to get into it. It's like any other sport. Like, if you've never played football, how do you learn to play football, right? You jump into it. And a lot of it happens is you get students that they're used to playing competitive. They're used to being at home or playing with their friends and jumping in. But esports is different, because now it's you and a team, and it's definitely on you and the team, and there's accountability with it. But then there's also that reward and success with it, right? And it's just a little bit of different animal when you're necessarily going against a team that's also a bunch of individuals, but you're going against a team that's a team. And so it just pays to jump in, start wherever you're at. There's a home for you somewhere. And I think that's part of the pride of what I'm going to have in IU East is wherever you're at in gaming, you can have a home here, right? You can be JV all 4 years if you want. If you just want to be a part of the program, you'll serve a purpose, and it'll be awesome to see. Or you can come here and you can grow. But if you're in that high school level, just find that place you can do it. And there's plenty of private orgs if your school doesn't have it. And you can just start getting used to the atmosphere, start getting used to the communication, start getting used to holding yourself accountable instead of, oh, I was by myself and my team was terrible, like I do when I game by myself, right? So.
And also, I should mention this too, I should ask, how could you calm a parent's nerves too? Since, like, oh, my son or daughter, they're not playing football or baseball or something, they're playing esports. What would you tell a parent who has a kid who wants to join esports?
So it's definitely, like I said, I like meeting students and kids where they're at, right? And if you just have that type of kid that's what they enjoy, and that's the cool thing about esports is now they have something they can work towards, right? And so you're looking at what esports does. It focuses on communication. It focuses on like task management. It focuses on goal-oriented, like that sort of stuff. And so it does serve a purpose besides like, hey, my daughter jumped into Fortnite tonight and they're building a house or something, right? So, and the cool part about it is where traditionally when it's just gaming, your socialization is just with random people online. With esports, your socialization is actually with a team and with the community, and especially if you do it in high school or say IU East level, now you're a part of campus, right? And so, and you're a part of campus in a different way. Like our esports kids, like they are unbelievably excited right now about intramural pickleball. That is something I never thought I'd hear them say, but they have rackets in their trunk and they're ready to go. And I was like, volleyball teams, watch out. These guys are fired up. So it's just cool to see them. That traditionally they've been, I'm going to stay at home tonight and build my computer and do that kind of nerdy stuff that we all do. But then now they're fired up about pickleball or disc golf and that sort of stuff. So that socialization part's pretty important. I think it benefits everyone pretty well.
Well, thank you so much, Jason, for coming on the show and talking about the program, and also good luck in future endeavors.
Yeah, thank you so much.
We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.